Here he comes, here he comes. There's the trumpets, there's the drums, here he comes. Hopalong, Cassidy, here he comes.
Abre tu balcón, princesa de mi amor, que es tu trovador que canta su canción. Implorando estoy de ojos a tus pies, que calmes este cruel dolor que me hace fallecer. Mi bien tuyo soy, no dudes ya más, mi pecho será tu solo ideal. Mi bien tuyo soy, no dudes ya más, y nadie podrá despojarte jamás. Abre tu balcón, princesa de mi amor, es tu trovador que canta su canción. Implorando estoy de hinojos a tus pies, que calmes este cruel dolor que me hace fallecer.
That gal can dance.
She's pretty good.
I suppose you could do better.
Say, I wasn't bad at anything when I was a yearling.
Can you remember that far back?
Yes, sir, I can remember. Say, are you trying to insinuate that I'm old?
Oh, of course you're not old. You just let your joints creak so people think you're playing castanets.
That's so. I can take care of young mavericks like you anytime you need it. Well, hello, Miss Adriani.
Buenas noches, Senor Wendy.
I ain't seen you for a coon's age. I swear you're getting prettier every day. You know, I was sitting here watching you dance. Nope. No, all right. Miss Adriani, this here's Johnny Nelson. He's all right. Keep tight rein on him.
Usted are a mucho pretty señorita, señorita.
What's the matter, Ranger? Don't you speak English? Will you take me to get a glass of wine, Senor Wendy?
Will I? You're darn tootin'. One side, Ranger.
A toast to the gentleman from across the border, senor. To you and to your country, my American friends.
And here's to you and your country, Colonel Gonzalez.
May it ever be so.
looks like a nice boy, this Johnny.
That's it. He's one of the best. Well, why shouldn't he be? I practically raised him by hand.
Espero habrá pasado un tiempo muy contento, tanta señorita bonita, el baile, ¿no?
Sí, quiere decir que si le gustan las muchachas, la comida, el baile, todo esto, ¿qué no?
Sí.
Well, I tell you, you see, I don't know whether I can or not, on account of I'm not going to be around here very long. Well, as a matter of fact, I'm going away tomorrow morning. See? See?
Vamos.
Hey.
¿Qué pasa, Pancho?
Los hombres del zorro pasaron la frontera y se llevaron todas las provisiones, señor.
¿Las provisiones?
Sí, señor, y mataron 4 o 5.
Oh, madre mía.
What's the trouble, senor?
The men of the Fox are riding this side of the border again, senor. This time is my supply train. My rancho is the third one that has been robbed within a month. Nothing close to the border is safe any longer.
Only last week they raided another pack train from the silver mine.
Is there nothing your country can do to help capture this fox?
You got no more kick coming than we have. We're getting the same thing from him on our side of the border. If your government continues doing nothing, maybe we ourselves will find it necessary to ride north. If you're figuring on crossing the border and looking for trouble...
Gentlemen, gentlemen, is the friendship between our peoples to be broken by the acts of the fox?
Well, it looks like that's just what's going to happen one of these days.
I apologize for my people, senor. But you understand, they have suffered much at the hands of the fox.
I can't say that I blame you all for getting head up.
Something must be done, my friends. It's too bad if one man were to be the cause of bad blood between us of the border.
I wish they'd give me 3 or 4 rangers and let me have a try at finding...
You? We've had the whole ranger force here twice. I wish Hopalong Cassidy was in this part of the country. Me and him would round up the fox in jig time.
Who is the elderly gentleman talking to the ranger?
That's Windy Halliday. He works on a ranch just north of the border.
Pardon me, gentlemen. Do I understand that you know this Mr. Hopalong Cassidy?
He wants to know why no Hoppy.
Why, sure you know him.
Yeah.
You've known him all his life. You've taught him every darn thing he knows.
Then perhaps you can tell me where this Mr. Cassidy can be found.
Sure. Well, he's handling a roundup down the Pecos country.
I happen to be a friend of Hoppy, sir. If you have a message for him, I can take it. He's near our headquarters, and I'm going over there tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Senor Ranger. But there is no message. I was merely interested in the name. Gentlemen, I believe there is a solution to the problem of the fox.
We're with you. Let's hear it.
There is nothing to be discussed yet. Senor, I will want my horses early in the morning.
What? Are you leaving, senor?
See, I ride north to talk to my friend, Major Stafford, of the Rangers.
Yes, I agree with you, Colonel. Something has got to be done before there's trouble on the border. I must admit that this fox has got me stumped. Why, twice we've rounded up his gang.
I know, but still the fox continues with his work.
Yeah. Well, how am I going to round up a man when I don't even know who he is?
You've never admitted defeat before, my friend.
Well, that's all right. I'm not admitting it now. It's just that I don't like the idea of mixing Cassidy up in this business.
It's the only card you have left to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right at that, Colonel.
So I says to this little hot tamale, I think you are mucho pretty, senorita. And what do you think her comeback was? She says, what's the matter, Ranger? Don't you speak English? There was a fat one there I was going to bring back for you, Bailey.
Should have kept it yourself.
Ah! Nelson, Bailey, I want you to go out to Bar K Ranch and arrest the foreman. I have some questions I want to ask him.
Oh, I guess I must have heard you wrong, Major. The foreman of the Bar K is...
Hopalong Cassidy, I know.
You mean you want me to arrest Hoppy?
Exactly.
I'd rather you picked someone else for the job, Major. You see, Cassidy and I...
No, I'm not interested in hearing about your personal history or about your friendship with Cassidy. I gave you an order, Nelson. Carry it out.
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. Easy now.
By the time Red and I regained consciousness, our quarry had taken flight. I decided on another step, the direct approach. I want to talk to you a minute, Blaine.
I'm sorry, Hoppy, but we're closed for the day.
What were you doing out at that cabin?
In a cabin? What do you mean?
Yeah, we saw you go in. We'd have seen you come out, too, except for some galoot stuck a bucket in my way.
There's no use denying you were there with a couple of men. We saw you, just as Red says. They saw us, too. In a few hours, I'll have a telegram here telling me all about them.
Yeah, Hoppy's only trying to help you if you're in any trouble. He can do it, too, seeing he's a sheriff.
Warner and Stacy are after you for something.
All I can say is that you're all wet.
Wait a minute.
All they wanted was the association to unload some cattle for them.
Oh, they could have talked about that while they were here. You didn't have to ride clear out there to talk about it. Norman, if you're afraid I'm going to find out about you being an ex-convict, forget it. I've known about it since the first day you got to Twin Rivers.
You have?
Certainly I have.
You'd be surprised how much Hoppy knows about what goes on around here.
Well, then I guess I might as well tell you all about it.
I wish you would. In the following hour, Norman told us the whole story of the land graft for which he and Forler were sent to prison, of their days in the penitentiary, and finally of his determination when he'd served out his time to come to Twin Rivers and make a fresh start. It wasn't a pretty story, but I had to admire the straightforwardness of the man.
So you see, Hoppy, one mistake or the slightest scandal and I'm all through in this locality. These people trust me and I don't want to let them down. Neither my employers, my friends, nor Christine.
I wouldn't want you to let him down either. I want to thank you for being so honest. Now I'll see what I can do for you.
Yeah, that goes for me, too. Hoppy and me'll think of something to do, won't we, Hoppy?
Sure.
Just to know that you're on my side helps a lot.
We'll keep in touch with you.
Well, thanks again.
Right. I got a telegram here that says you two are clearing out of town.
Yeah, and I got a lump on my head that says the same thing.
What kind of a telegram says that, mister?
It's from the warden of the Kansas State Penitentiary. Take a look.
Well, this says I was paroled.
But what you did today violates your parole. So I'm ordering you both out of town.
Well, that says you're the sheriff here. And no Cowtown official is ordering me to do anything.
Wait a minute. Nobody's going to call Hoppy a Cowtown official. Not while I'm around, anyway.
You've got nothing on me. That telegram says so.
So it does, but I got plenty on you today. Besides, I don't like the company you keep. So come along and nobody will get hurt.
Sit tight, Tom.
All right. I'm sitting tight.
going to pay for my broken dishes?
How much is it, Morty?
Well, 2 cups is at least 68 cents.
Pay her for her.
$5.
Just keep the change.
Well, who's going to pay for the suppers? You know they ordered 2 whole suppers, Mr. Cassidy.
2 whole suppers. Take it out of there. Come on, outside and on your horses. Red, come on. I figured when Red and I rode Forler and Stacy out of town last night, the matter was closed and Norman Blaine's reputation insured. But I was about to find out how wrong I was.
Something awful has happened, Hoppy.
What is it, Chris?
Well, last night Norman was visiting me. There was a knock at the door and he answered it. I couldn't see who was outside or hear what was said, but Norman appeared quite distressed. And then a moment later he told me he had to leave for a few minutes.
What happened then?
Well, he didn't come back last night. And when I went by his place a little while ago, he wouldn't let me in. In fact, he told me to go away. I'm afraid something's happened to him. That he's hurt or something.
Maybe them fellers came back.
I'm sure they did. Let's see what we can find out.
Thanks ever so much. Thanks again.
Don't worry about it. Norman Blaine wasn't in his room. We promised to let Christine know when we found out anything. I thought we ought to try the office of the Cattlemen's Association. Norman!
You dead? Jumping mackerel.
Did Fuller and Stacy do this to you?
They came to Christine's last night.
What time was that?
Around about 10 o'clock.
We ran them out of town about 8. They must have hid out for a couple of hours and then sneaked back.
They were at that cabin you saw us at yesterday.
Go on.
They beat me up for putting you on their trail. They gave me until 12 o'clock today to bring $5,000 out on the Flat Rock Road.
Where on the Flat Rock Road?
They didn't say. They said they'd meet me.
Say, maybe we could surprise them and do the meeting ourselves instead of him.
And do you think they'd show up? They're not that stupid.
I guess you're right, Hoppy.
Hoppy, I'm sunk.
Why do you say that, Norman?
In the first place, the association hasn't got $5,000. At least not where I could get my hands on it today. And in the next place, if they did have $5,000, I wouldn't steal it for Fuller and Stacy or for anyone else.
Wait a minute. Maybe we can arrange to have them steal it.
What?
Oh, Hoppy's only joking. Imagine the sheriff fixing it for a couple of crooks to rob the Cattlemen's Association.
That sounds like a big joke, doesn't it? But it's such a big joke that at 12 o'clock you're going to be riding on the Flat Rock Road.
Huh?
Now, come on, let's get that place fixed up. At 12 o'clock, Norman rode along the Flat Rock Road. The object was to keep the rendezvous with the 2 ex-convicts. My plan was for Norman to pretend to want to play their game, to plead that they could get their 10,000, maybe even more, and still save Norman's reputation in Twin Rivers. Instead of stealing the money and turning it over to them, Norman promised to set the stage for them to hold up the office of the Cattlemen's Association. At first, this didn't sound good to the gentlemen in question, but their greed got the better of them. They would be at the office at 3 o'clock sharp. Unfortunately, we underestimated the cleverness of Fuller and Stacy. Instead of waiting until the appointed time to ride into Twin Rivers, they followed right on Norman's heels. Obviously, they had suspected a trap, and they agreed if it proved to be a trap, then Norman was to die.
Darling, what happened to you?
Christine, you've got to get out of here right away.
I'm not moving an inch until you tell me what this mystery's all about.
I'll tell you everything tonight. Now, please go.
No. I want to know what happened to you and why.
Oh, Chris, I'd have to tell you everything about it anyway before we got married. Why wait till 3 o'clock? Let's move in now.
Take it easy. We'll wait. There's your answer. We'll wait.
After what I've done, I couldn't blame you for calling off our engagement. I don't deserve anyone as fine as you. Naturally, I'd hate to lose you, but...
Oh, my dear. How can you think I'd ever let you go? What you did years ago doesn't matter. Since we've known each other, you've been fine and honorable and brave. Why, what you're doing now is just about the bravest thing I ever heard of. Oh, but darling, I'm afraid. If the plan you and Hoppy have made should turn out wrong...
Oh, but it can't go wrong. It's all arranged. That'll be Hoppy now. You're right on the dot. It's just 1 o'clock.
Hoppy and me's always on the dot. That's the way we work.
Chris, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
I'm staying here, Hoppy.
But you can't do that.
It's all right, Hoppy. Chris knows the whole story. She understands everything.
Well, I'm glad she does, but we don't know what's going to happen here in the next couple of hours. You'll have to leave, Chris. It's too dangerous. Please.
I understand. I'll go.
Oh, wait a minute. You better go out the front door just in case they're watching the place.
You're right.
Please be careful. All three of you.
Leave the door unlocked. Red and I'll be in this closet. You'll be at your desk. Where's Sandy?
Oh, I gave him the day off. He won't be back till tomorrow.
Good.
Long after 3 and no sign of them. They said they'd be here at 3 o'clock.
I guess they're smarter than we thought they were.
Well, what happens now?
I guess we just wait. They were almost smart enough, but not quite. Porter decided we had called off the trap, or else there had been none in the first place. He decided to move in on Norman Blaine.
You know, I'd bet a suit of last year's underwear against an old broken washboard that they're still out there in that cabin.
That's pretty reckless gambling. What makes you so sure?
My instinct never fails me.
In this case, that's a good sign.
Where's the money?
It's in the safe.
Open it up.
It's already open.
It better be. Get your hands on the table and keep them there. Get into the closet. Get in the closet.
You're in no position to give orders, mister. Keep them covered, Red. Come in, Mr. Stacy. You're just in time for the party. Only it's going to be over at the jail. All right, Red, come on, let's take him.
Get into the closet. Nice work. Get the money.
All right, I've had enough.
Well, there's the end of a case of attempted robbery, as our friend over there will be willing to testify.
Hoppy, how can I ever thank you enough?
Or I.
You don't have to. Just be happy in the fact that your troubles are all over.
You're wrong there, Hoppy. Norm's troubles ain't over yet.
Well, how do you figure?
Easy enough. You're getting married, ain't you?
There he goes on his way down the moonlit trail to where cowboys race. Hop along, Cassidy. Hop along, Cassidy. He'll return soon again. There's no use to say goodbye until then. Hop along, Cassidy.